My name is Gilead, and I'm the CEO of BJE. Thank you for coming tonight. Before we start, I would like you all to join me in a very old Jewish ritual. Can you please reach to your phone and put them on silent? For the official welcome, I am more than happy to introduce Dr. Gil Davis, the president of BJE.
Thank you very much, Hillet. Wow, it's amazing to see so many faces here. It's very exciting. As Hillet said, I'm the president of the New South Wales Board of Jewish Education. We're in our 110th year, and we've been doing this for several decades, so we think we know what we're doing. But first up, I would like to acknowledge that we're here today on the lands of the Gadigal and BJE peoples who traditionally occupy the Sydney coast, and on behalf of the New South Wales Board of Jewish Education, I acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people attending today, I guess not a huge number, and I pay my respects to elders past and present. I would especially like to welcome Mr. Jeremy Dunkel, who is going to be speaking afterwards, who chairs Y2Y, which makes such a significant and valued contribution to the program. I'd also like to welcome Irita Rome, the CEO of, she's gone? There you are, of Alexander Mas High School in Israel, who's travelled all the way here so she can give you a first-hand understanding, and Adi Hakim, who is actually, he's telling me, not only a local-born Sydney-sider, but a local-born Maroubaraite, who is also an archaeologist, so I mean, how much more could you want? And we welcome him as well. I'd like to address my remarks primarily to the younger people in the audience here today thinking about making their decision to go to Israel. The Israel program is about the journey to adulthood and coming into our common Jewish heritage. We at BJE are very proud of the program. As I said, it's been running for a number of decades and we haven't lost anyone yet. We're very proud of you taking this first step to come tonight. We know it's not always easy. I know that you're going to have many questions, but long experience has taught us that the Israel trip is the highlight in most people's lives, and it will transform you in ways that you can barely imagine. The experience will connect you and make friendships for life with other Jewish kids. It will connect you to the land of Israel and its people. You really can't afford not to do it. Anyway, with those few words, it's my great pleasure to hand over to Jeremy, who will also make his introduction on behalf of Y2Y. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's amazing, truly, to see so many people in the room. When we first created Y2Y a few years ago, I could never have imagined seeing this many people here. So I do this relatively often. I never get tired of it, so it's enormously satisfying. So welcome to you all. I'd also like to welcome Gil, BJE, an enormously important partner of ours, and we are thankful for all that you and Hillet and the whole team do for BJE and for the community at large. And also to, I mean, for you it's always Paul rather than Adi, but and to Rick also. Welcome to Sydney again, and thank you. And also to my very hard-working Y2Y team as well, Rachel, Rael, Michelle and Anthony as well, who do so much for the community and for Y2Y. Y2Y's beginnings date back over 10 years ago. The Gen 08 survey highlighted the profound impact on Jewish continuity of students travelling to Israel and educational programs during their formative years. After a pilot in 2014, Y2Y was established in 2015 to provide $5,000 vouchers to Jewish students in Year 10 to make travel to Israel affordable. Since then, over 1,000 Jewish teams have travelled to Israel, and we expect this year to be the largest ever, with 350 students from New South Wales, the ACT and Queensland expected to participate. Y2Y and the Jewish community regard this trip as an investment in your Jewish and Zionist futures. It represents a key life milestone, a bridge from Bar and Bat Mitzvah through, we hope, to a longer Year 13 program, and then other community involvement beyond, whether that's CSG or Orgis or other things. The BJE program is also unique in that it combines students from a wide variety of public and private schools from all manner of Jewish backgrounds. The friendships that you will create during your time away will be truly life-changing. As part of that, in December this year, we'll be again holding Y2Y Day, where students from all the different day schools and from the BJE program will come together. So BJE, Mariah, Masada, KTC, and Emmanuel. For an amazing day, friendship, of fun, of learning, that we hope will also live with you for a long time. Now, wearing my Y2Y hat, although the voucher that everyone's entitled to is a gift, I strongly encourage those that can afford to return some or all of it to do so, as it will assist other families in this room that need additional support beyond that voucher. This year will represent the 5th and following year of the initial Y2Y pilot, and we'll be returning to the community to fund an extension of the program. It's crucial that our donors view this as a partnership between them, the students, and their parents, and it won't receive the funding it needs to continue if that is taken for granted. My eldest daughter went on IST in 2015, my second daughter went on Hawaii in 2017, and my son, God willing, will go on this program in 2 years' time. It was a trip of a lifetime for my daughters, and it will be for all of you. On behalf of Y2Y, thank you and good evening.
Well, the last time I stood up here was on my bar mitzvah about 40 years ago. So it's very strange. Anyway, good evening everyone, Erev Tov. It is absolutely awesome to be here tonight because we are going to have to share with your children an experience that they will never ever forget. When I was 15 from Maroubra, we never had this opportunity. And this is a gift. A gift thanks to the Jewish Board of Education, thanks to Y2I, and thanks to Alexandra Muzz. And a gift because we're alive today to appreciate it. And of course, the gift of the miracle of our country, of the state of Israel. Folks, I've got a couple of nice pickies up here anyway. That was my serious partner, right? Okay, so here's a picture of Masada. We climb to Masada. Yes, we wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, folks. Okay, we climb and we have an amazing time. I'm also a tour guide. Okay, and believe you me, I take many, many people who come and bring their children to Israel. They always say, I remember when I was 16 or 18, one of the greatest highlights of my life was climbing Masada. Okay, and we are going to have that opportunity. And yes, you're going to wake up at 4 in the morning. And the breakfast is horrible. Okay, let's move on. Come on, let's move on. Here we go. And this is the vision and mission. Well, that's as much as I want to say already. And that is basically, we give the opportunity for the Jewish kids right here in this hall, the opportunity to remain and appreciate our beautiful inheritance. Yes, I will appreciate and respect the Aborigines that were here in Maroubra, and also I'm proud to respect and appreciate our tribe as well, the Jewish tribe. Yama. You understand? So we're part of the tribe of the Jewish people, and we present that. And not just present it like, okay, in the classroom, because we don't have classrooms, we have experience. The kids feel, they see, they smell, and they certainly eat a lot of falafels. Okay, let's move on, enough of that. The beautiful thing about our Alexandra Muzz tradition is not like a tour, oh, there's a tree and there's a rock, whatever, is we actually have an educational value to this. We're the only educational program, teenage program, that does it in chronological order. In other words, from Uga Buga man and woman up to the latest satellite on the 11th of April, where Israel will be one of the only 3 or 4 countries that will land an amazing lunar capsule on top of the moon. How about a round of applause for Israel, folks? That's quite phenomenal. Yeah. And the kids will actually be seeing that. We'll be talking to people who do things like in terms of high tech. We're always talking about the amazing state-of-the-art country, and we'll be seeing people like that, and we're going to talk about that. Let's move on to chronology. Thank you very much. Also, and listen to me very clearly, folks. It is not a gag to be Jewish. It's not a nerd to be Jewish. Folks, I come from Maroubra Synagogue, and every time we had these amazing Hanukkah parties, and then as soon as I open the door, I see Anzac Parade. And that was the end of my Yiddishkeit. And respect, yeah? But when I go and open the door when I come to Israel, and I see the headlines, Hag Sameach. I go out of the supermarket, Hag Sameach. On the news, on the radio, it's Hag Sameach, Happy Hanukkah. And it's something which is a true story. It's not like Tinkerbell stuff, folks. It happened. Hanukkah happened, the Maccabees happened, and I can tell you, and so can Dr. Gill say, it's an archaeological fact that Hanukkah did happen. Okay? Now, we get this idea it didn't happen, it was nice upbringing, very sweet stories. It's not true. It's something that's part of our inheritance, it's something we should know about, and that's what we teach. And by the way, we are going to have Hanukkah on the actual tour, which is a big plus. Next. Okay, the tours. There's me, my sunglasses. Anyway, I was told not to wear them tonight. Okay, never mind. Nonetheless, you see the map? We conquer the map. We do amazing stuff when we start from Tel Gezer, which is where they do all this understanding of the Canaanites and the Israelites, and where the idea of the one God concept come from, because before they didn't have that idea. Imagine if I came and started smashing everyone's iPhones, I wouldn't be popular, correct? And that's what Abraham did, not iPhones, of course, the idols. And it changed the world. It revolutionized the world. Okay? And we, with the kids, are going to experience this whole concept of monotheism and Judaism, and also we learn about Christianity and Islam and the Druze and the Bedouins, and I could go on, but that's not why I'm here right now. Nonetheless, we go from the Golan all the way up. Sometimes we have snow fights in the Hermon, and sometimes we can go swimming in the Red Sea, from top to bottom, from north to south, from east to west. So we really do an amazing job taking them. But the nicest thing about this, Bavakasha, is that we're all together as a family. Religious, irreligious, whatever. It really doesn't matter. We're all part of the Jewish people, we're all part of the same tribe. You want to be kosher, it's a completely kosher outfit, by the way. But nonetheless, the point being is that you can be Shomer Shabbat, you can keep the Shabbat, or you don't have to keep Shabbat. But of course, in public places, we respect it. So those, if we're in a hotel in Sfat or in Yerushalayim, okay, you can be on the phone in your room, but in public places, we respect. That means the kids learn respect. That means that the kids have the opportunity to learn something about themselves, where they fit in this whole amazing scheme of being a proud Jew. Let's go. Moving on. Okay, workshops. Every so often we sit around, in this room and we discuss things like, where are you from 0 to 10 in your Judaism? Yeah? And this girl put it, I'm 8. Oh, great, 8, tell me. So, well, I keep Yom Kippur. Like, great, fantastic, Yom Kippur, yeah, I don't fast at all. Says, we have a big thing now, breaking the Yom Kippur fast. So what do you eat? Oh, I have a ham sandwich. You see, it can be all spectrum. It doesn't really matter how people cut and paste their Judaism. So we deal with that, we discuss it. Okay? It's very typical Jewish. It's Israel, We wrestle with God, we wrestle with the angels, we wrestle with ourselves, what it all means to be a Jewish person. Okay? And put aside of the Jewishness, and what does it mean to be just a person on this planet? Environment, we do with the Jewish National Fund. We are sponsored by we are part of the Jewish National Fund. Okay, so we plant trees. We go to environmental area projects. We do a lot of great things. Okay, let's move on. This is the party time, folks. Okay, we're just going to sort of have a quick snippets of what you see there, because we're going to go in much more detail later about what we're doing in the activities. But just quickly, we go to a basketball. There's a lot of sports. I know a lot of Australians are very religious when it comes to sport, that is. Okay, that's a sport here. So we do a basketball things, we can do gardening if you want, a lot of fun on the beaches. So folks, it's not like full-on educational, like that's what we're going to study, no. We go to the places, we understand what we're doing, and we have an awesome time. Let's move on. Okay, and that's really cool too. We go to these sand dunes, we do these other things. Folks, the last couple of things we want to deal with is two very important things. It's probably the only time you'll hear me out being serious. Okay? And that is security. And I'll really go in much more detail. But basically, because you're seeing me, they sent me here to show you I will be at the airport. Okay, I'm one of the 3 or 4 major teachers there, believe it or not. Okay, and I'm at the airport and I will be taking care of your kids. Apart from the Australian Madrachim and apart from the senior group from the BJE, I will be personally involved in the course with Orit as well to take care of your kids. Now, it's not just taking care of them. This whole program has been already planned 5 months in advance. Okay? And my part of being the security dude is ringing up and making sure that every tour that we do has to be confirmed. It's already been organised, it's already been reserved, and then the night before I have to confirm that if we can go on this tour up north, if we can do that tour. Maybe it's raining, maybe it's snowing, maybe certain things happen. Then I ring up at 7:15, I ring a thing called Moked Teva, which is like headquarters. And that involves the police, the army, the ambulance, okay, part of the Board of Education in Israel, okay, to make sure that we have clearance to do these tours. And if something happens in the north, we will go down south. We continue on, we move on, and that's the situation. Apart from that, every tour that we do, we have a medic and we have a guard. That is basically a norm in every tour in Israel, okay? And it's a standard. So in terms of security, believe in me, your kids will be protected as much as possible. And we, all the teachers and all the staff, consider your kids our kids. Okay? So please, if I can just bring a bit of hamishness in this hall of here, okay? Then believe in me, we really, really care for your kids. It's just awesome. Okay, folks, I've talked enough. The most important thing to the kids out there, the students out there, hands up, those kids out there, yeah, you're right? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, folks, one last thing, and that's the spirit of Australia. And that is the challenge. Forget about the Jewish part of things. Forget about everything in terms of what you're scared about. Take the challenge. You live once. Why don't you do something? Yeah? Do something that, you know what, might be a bit adventurous. Okay? The BJE is very unique because we start off with 70, 80, hopefully 100, and inshallah, Bezrat Hashem, kids. Okay? And hopefully, and it's been proven practice, it happens all the time, that your individual kids become one family unit. And that's why we can stand here and be very proud of what we do. We're very proud because the kids come back incredibly appreciative of the Yiddishkeit, of the Judaism, and the program of BJE is awesome because they have this continuity of being Jewish. And that's important for our community, and that's important for our Jewish inheritance. So Toda Rabah. I'm here till late tonight, so if you've got any questions, I know some of you folk haven't seen it for 40 years plus, okay, but more than happy, and if it's very hard to talk to the people who don't come from Australia, I'm here as well, alright? Yalla, Toda Rabah and Laila Tov.
Hi everybody. I know exactly how you feel. I've been in your shoes. Not once, but twice before. Let me explain. Both my children have been on the BJE Israel program. Lauren 4 years ago and Jeremy last year. My children are both very different, and their experience leading up to going to Israel was also very different. When Lauren was in year 10, she announced to us that she would love to go to Israel at the end of the year. She was very keen and excited, and she'd heard really good things from her friends who had older siblings who'd attended the program. To be honest, for me, it sounded interesting, but I did need to know more. We attended the info night, and it was at Lauren's Israel interview that I became involved. BJE needed a teacher, and I agreed to replace that teacher temporarily. I loved it and became more involved with BJE, and the rest, as they say, is history. I'm still here. Lauren went to Israel and she had the most fantastic experience. She made heaps of friends and she's still in contact with them today. So for us, it was a no-brainer that Jeremy would go to Israel in year 10.
He'd heard all about it from his sister and her friends, but, as teenagers do, he had his own ideas. He wasn't very keen. In fairness to him, he's a passionate soccer player, and he had an opportunity to go and play soccer in Japan over the December-January holidays. Also, his closest friends were not going to Israel. So this time around, I found myself in the exact opposite situation. I was the one who was dead keen that he should go to Israel, and Jeremy was the one who needed to find out more and needed to be encouraged to go. After what felt like forever, he decided, much to my relief, that he would go on the Israel program instead of to Japan. Like Lauren, he too had the most amazing time. An interesting fact, with Lauren, we felt as though we were experiencing Israel together with her. We got regular detailed messages and we spoke very often on the phone. With Jeremy, however, we heard from him occasionally, getting updates in 1 or 2 word messages. He was just too busy having fun. Luckily, because I was involved with the Israel program from Sydney, I was able to connect the dots and I knew exactly what he was up to. Both my children ended up loving the program and have said that it was possibly the best thing that they've ever done. So, having watched them with envy go and experience this life-changing trip to Israel, I'm thrilled to say that now it's my turn. I'm really excited as I will be going on the BJE Israel program at the end of the year. So for the students, I will be their mum while they're away in Israel, and to all you parents, I'll be there for you, whether it's via text messages, emails or phone calls. The BJE Israel team, together with AMSI, staff will work very closely together to make sure that your children have the most amazing 5 weeks in Israel. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, you can either ask them tonight or you can give us a call at the office anytime. We'd be happy to help you with that, and I look forward to meeting you all. Thank you.
Taking the kids last year was amazing. And as Hazel said, I was trying to take photos of Jeremy whenever I could. It wasn't easy as well. I used to avoid the camera. So, yeah. So I'm telling you about the Israel program, a bit of facts and stuff like that. So BJE has been running the Israel program since 1999, so for 20 years now. And it's grown in size and popularity. I can tell you that last year we were around 80 kids, and this year we expect to be 100 kids from New South Wales, ACT, Queensland, Victoria, WA, so a group of 100 kids. So they are all from around Australia and about 40 different schools or 50 different schools, depend this year on the year. The fact that participants take part in the Israel program doesn't exclude students to be eligible to the birth rights program. So when do we leave? We leave on the 10th of December, and it's an afternoon flight. And we arrive in Israel the day after, 7 a.m. in the morning, when they have the brief and everything. We depart Israel on 15th of January, because if it is a lunchtime actually flight, we arrive just a day later to Sydney, so we land at 16th of January at night. You will receive all those details, of course, when we're ready. I will send you all the information. Everything that leaving early, staying longer, changing return, all the things that families are concerned or would like to change, will need to be discussed on a case-to-case basis, and you're welcome to call me or email me. So what do you need? The main things that you need to take care of now is the passports. So, of course, the Australian passports. All the passports need to be valid until 16th of July 2020. And if the student has an Israeli parent, or was born in Israel, he will need also to travel with his Israeli passport. And if he has an Israeli passport, then he needs an army exemption. And I can tell you for my kids that it takes about a month to do the army exemption, so take it into consideration. On the program, we usually have a free weekend. The free weekend this time is the 20th and the 21st of December. The other weekends we spend in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Tzfat, other places. So families are welcome to visit throughout the program, of course with accordance to AMSI, and we need all the details. We are not just releasing the kids and going. We need to have all the details, a letter from the parents, a letter from the people that hosting the kids. And the free weekend is also, some kids are staying at the free weekend, they decide they want to stay on campus and they are welcome. Some kids, they're going to families, some are going to friends, some are taking their friends with them. So there is many opportunities. And also there will be plenty of kids in campus in case your kid doesn't have a family or a friend to go with to a family in Israel. But we really encourage to experience a Shabbat in the Israeli family. Okay. So what is the cost for the student? The actual cost is $11,500. The Y2I voucher is $5,000. So the balance payable for each family is $6,500. This includes actually flights, insurance, accommodations, 3 meals a day, workshop, tours, entry fees to all the tours. If you're going to museum, we're going to the Museum of Israel, we're going to a lot of parks, so everything is, all of these things are included. What does it exclude? So each kid that's going on the program has to have an Israeli SIM card. We connect a lot through the WhatsApp, and they need to have an Israeli SIM card. When they're going, they will need to put in 3 envelopes, and we all know about it. Don't even try to remember this money that also returned to you, but it's kind of deposit. Deposit that they will keep the room clean, deposit that they will have money for the way back, so that you spend everything to make sure your child is okay and he has all the things that he needs. Additional insurance in case your child is living later and staying in Israel, and of course spending money that he wants to go to have ice cream, to go with the other kids to explore Hod Sharon and stuff like that. Additional financial assistance. So we understand that the $6,500 might be also difficult for some families. So Y2Is kindly have an additional mean-tested funding, which is also available for those who require that. And the closing date for the application is Monday, the 20th of May. When you received today the booklet, there was inside enrollment form. In the enrollment form, you have 3 options that you choose one of them. If you need a further assistance, you can pay deposit, whatever, you need to choose one and fill it out so you enroll your child. You can do it at home, scan it and send it to me, or if you want to spare this, you can stay another, I'm here after the evening, you can fill it out and just give it to me. So I know there isn't much of reception here, as I understand from the Shul Synagogue, so to enroll and book an interview is the first thing that you need to do, and this is all you need to remember at this stage. To enroll, where you have the enrollment form already in your hand, and the link, which is also, you have like the flight ticket. On the flight ticket there is the link to book an interview, which is the most important thing that you can do. There are lots of interview days, whoever do it first, get better slots or whatever. And just remember the term dates, and we have also dates. If you are not here on term dates, we have also before and after those term dates. We have Sundays, so we try to accommodate mornings, afternoon, during holidays, so I'm sure everybody can have a time that suits you. Just to go over some major milestones. So actually forms will be available to download from today, and I will send all of you an email tomorrow with all the information you need to know. Interviews are being held from mid-April to the beginning of June, and you can now enroll, pay the $1,000 deposit, which is also refundable until 20th of June. So the things that you only need to do now is book an interview and enroll. And this must be done before a week prior to your interview. Financial assistance, as I mentioned before, is whoever needs financial assistance. Also on the enrollment form, you have my phone number, you have my email, you can call me, I will send you the forms, everything is ready for you. I will also mention all of the above in my email, so you don't need to remember or write or do anything. Other forms, all other forms, the deadline is the beginning of June. And my advice to you, there are many forms from the school, from the travel agent, from us, so I suggest whenever you have a form that you can fill and send, just send it to us, because you have a lot to do. You're sending your kids, and we need to know a lot about medical and other stuff that's important. So for your convenience, we made a checklist. So this is the checklist that also I will email to you. So you will have like a page, like you see here. So you know exactly everything that you do, you can tick. I send a passport photo, I send the passport, I send the forms. So you know exactly at each point what you need to do and which forms you need to fill, and if you've done everything that's needed. And this is for you just to make sure that you are on top. So we have the program, but we have a pre-events and we have a post-events to the program. The pre-events help us with bonding, with building the groups, and preparing the kids for the Israel program. So we have a very important camp, Weekend Escape Camp. It's actually getting to know the kids. It's for year 7 to year 12, but the year 10 has their own program, and they're by themselves. And it's from August 1st till August 4. We are doing our camps out of youth movement, so it's actually on school time, so it's a bit difficult for some of the kids. But if you know in advance, you can prepare. We can help you with letter to schools if you need. We have a meet and greet meeting, which is on 15th September. And we have also Israel Essential, when we explain the do and don't. And it's going to be on again on Sunday, 3rd of November. So we have also some post-program events that is part of giving back to the community, because the kids are getting from the community. We want to involve them with the other organization, the Jewish organizations. So we're taking part of the JNF Telethon in February. The kids are calling and asking for donation, and we had a very successful and very enjoyable one this February with the kids in 2018. We have as well a leadership camp, usually in March, when they come together, all the year 10, the one that's going in year 10 and now in year 11, they come into a leadership camp when they get all the skills, and it's a very, very important camp to take part in. We have the JCN fundraising in June, and we have, again, the Weekend Escape. For them, it's going to be a reunion in August again. So, thank you very much. And if you have any question after this, I'm here.
Shalom. I'm going back to Israel in about 8 hours. I've been here for the last 12 days, started my trip in Melbourne, and I have to say that you folks in Sydney are probably the luckiest Jewish parents in the world. I've been to the United States, and I've been to England, and I spent time in Canada. Never have I met a group of parents who've been given a $5,000 gift. It is unheard of. And the fact that we're speaking about why your kids should go to Israel and why you should push your kids to go, that all makes no sense to me, because who gets a gift worth $5,000 and doesn't get to use it? It just makes absolutely no sense. So I just wanted to start off by telling you that you really are the luckiest Jewish families in the world, and Y2I is really the only organization that I know throughout the entire Jewish world that really gives your kids this unbelievable opportunity. So please, please, please do take advantage of it, and think about what I'm saying, because I meet families who can't afford and really want to send their kids to Israel, and this is really the most unbelievable gift. I have the best job in the world. I run the Alexander Mas High School in Israel. It is a campus smack in the middle of the country, located in Hod HaSharon. It's about half an hour from Tel Aviv. We've got, as it says, location, location, location. The idea is that the students live in Hod HaSharon. You actually hear them say, not when I traveled in Israel, but when I lived in Hod HaSharon. The beautiful thing about the fact that they have their own room and their own bed, and they know exactly where it is that they're staying. And if we go on a 2-day trip, they end up going, and you actually hear them say, oh, tomorrow morning we're going back home. They don't mean their house here in Sydney, they mean their room on campus. And having that security, having that sense of belonging to a place in Israel makes a world of difference between the Alexander Mas High School in Israel and all the other programs out there, where students literally are on the bus and they're on the go, and they're exhausted just by moving from place to place and having to pack and unpack, etc., etc. I myself am a mom to 3 kids. When I started working at the high school, my daughter was a year old. She's now exactly the age of the students, and I want to sleep at night. I want to make sure that the 300 kids that are attending the high school in Israel are just as safe as my own 3 kids. So I do want to share with you that we take a lot of pride in making sure that your kids are well, that they're being attended to, that they have a sense of someone is taking care of me. We have a nurse on campus and we have a doctor on campus. We have their counselors and the team here from Australia, and there's always someone to talk to, especially with the difference in hours. There really is someone to speak to every step of the way. This year Hazel will be with us, but I do want you to know that we have an English-speaking nurse and an English-speaking doctor, and the services are available. In terms of off-campus events, if kids, chas v'chalila, do get ill, then we have the ability to make house calls, but again, you'll be updated every step of the way. Nurit just went through the different forms. It really is a big job to make sure that we have all our ducks in order to make sure that we get the kids and we know everything to expect. Everything is available online. I don't want you to be alarmed or concerned that it's too complicated. We go through this over 1,200 times a year with all the different students that we have on campus, so it really is quite user-friendly and really not that much of a big deal. The biggest thing that I put a lot of attention to is to make sure that you're updated of what your kids are doing, not only where they are and what they're up to, but also the philosophy and the theme behind it. As Paul mentioned, we teach in chronological order. There's a lot of educational content, and we pride ourselves on being a school, a real school. I'm saying this when the kids are out of the room. They actually do study in Israel, okay? It's not just fun, which we want it to be, but there's also a great thought and educational pedagogy that goes into our curriculum, and it is really important that you as parents do get a sense of understanding. Believe me, those updates that you'll get from parents are really informative. You'll learn a lot, and a lot of parents, as they read those updates, they basically come back and say, oh my God, you know, I should go to Israel, because their kids end up knowing so much more than they do about Israel, about their history, etc., etc. I have, as I said, the best job in the world, because I am responsible for Jewish continuity. The reward that we get from hearing from kids after they've been to Israel is, wow, I belong to a winning team. Wow, I now know why my mom's been hacking me about marrying someone Jewish. Wow, I now understand why it's important for us to have Israel as a country. All these different things are really the reason that we do this. It's become harder and harder to do it every year, but I have to tell you, it's the most rewarding job on earth. So thank you for coming and listening, but really take this gift with two hands and come to Israel.
So we gave you all the information we thought you would like to know, but we're pretty sure you have some questions. And we have a wonderful panel, so can I please invite Orit, Adi, Hazel to the weight come up. And if you have questions to I, I'm sure Jeremy can also help us answering those questions. So, questions, please.
Wow. The kids are divided into classrooms. Paul Hakim is one of the teachers who will be working with the BJE group. There are approximately 25 kids in every classroom, approximately 2 classrooms or 2 teachers working on 1 bus, okay? So if we have a group of 100 kids, they'll probably end up being split into 4 different groups, 2 on each bus. On every bus there would be 2 teachers and an armed guard and a medic and counselors and staff from Australia and staff from Israel, and we do separate them into those units. There are many times that everyone will get together. There are many times that they will meet up into different groups and have family time. There are times that they will be in their dorm with the people sleeping in their corridor. So there really is an opportunity to mix all the different groups together, but in terms of the educational content, it is very much structured based on that 25 ratio.
Also, we try that the kids that are in the class will be with different kids in a room. So they're with one group in class, but they have other kids in their room.
Also Tulip.
And also in Tulip as well, yes, of course.
I'll talk a bit about that now, but then we can talk about the options. I agree with you.
So do I.
Like Ghana is like a 3-4 day experience, like every teenager in Israel, every Israeli kid goes through some sort of Israeli army experience. They go in, they get the uniforms, they do the exercises, they run, they learn the ethics, principles, Jewish ethics, they're concerned about the Israeli Defense Forces. They live in tents, they eat the army food, they have a chance to shoot a gun. But again, it's a different mentality when we talk about the army in Israel and every army in the world. It's a Jewish army, okay? And they get the experience. If anything is the DNA of Israel, it's the Ghana course where you can actually feel being really part of the understanding of Israel. But we do have options.
So can I just say that for my son, it was the highlight of his Israel trip.
So we understand that Ghana is not for everyone. And kids are coming, they have different personality. We have an option of, we call it culture. So in those days, they will have tulip to different places, which are not on the regular program. Let's say a day to Caesarea, and then a day to Akko. So they will have a very, very nice time and see things that they wouldn't see if they would go to Ghana, for example. So everybody wins. So it depends on the kid personality. One is more experienced, one is more seeing places and going to art galleries and seeing, let's say, graffitis. So there will be content and there will be other options.
I just want to add, I thank you for raising the comment. Most kids that come to Israel thinking that they're not going to do good enough and are convinced to go and do it, end up coming back and saying, oh my God, I am so glad that I pushed myself beyond what I thought I was capable of. There really is that sense of, I managed to do it, and which is part of the whole experience. And I do want to encourage those ones who are on the fence to really be pushed even a little bit by the parents to do that. We are giving it another option because, as Malik said, it's not for everyone. But I do want to encourage you to really promote the good night experience.
And just to finish off or summate this, we're educators and we're parents, okay? And most of the 5-week experience is about development. The kids learn about responsibility. You're not there. They have to actually deal with real life decisions, okay? Gardner is part of that. Gardner teaches them responsibility, leadership, innovation, very typical Israel stuff, yeah? And that's the beautiful thing about the 5-week program, is that they're on their own and they have to make things for themselves. And you'll be completely surprised how mature these kids come back, and that's part of the child development program. It's really a positive aspect of this 5-week program.
We work with Hal Ed. It's one of the leading insurance companies in Israel. It's the very standard insurance package that you would, in the old days, pay, $1 a day or something like that. It's close to double what that is nowadays. But if the students have a pre-existing condition, if the students are have experienced something or they're likely to develop a certain illness, I do highly recommend that either you buy additional insurance here in Australia, or you speak to the agent that we work with in Israel to buy supplementary pre-existing condition insurance. The costs will change from, obviously, each student would have a different charge just based on their own specific situation. But pre-existing condition is, we're seeing it grow and grow all the time. And it is very important that we have all that information in advance so we know how to best take care of the children.
We also, through this cost, insure your kids coming from Australia all the way over there and back. So while they're in Israel, they actually double insure. They insure by us and they insure by the school as well for medical. But the insurance here, it's a standard insurance that you get in most companies. It doesn't cover pre-existing condition. You will receive the entire policy and you will be able to then choose if you want to upgrade. Okay?
Just remember that if your kids has different dates to the dates that we mentioned, they will need to contact directly our agent and add the days that the kids is in Israel. If they stay for another week, so to pay for another week of insurance. But the period of time that you go in with the group, you are insured.
Good question. It's about 2 to 3 nights off campus, and the rest of the time they're on campus. When they have free time, there's a system called sign in, sign out, or sign out, sign in. Basically, campus is located literally 3 to 4 minutes from the center of town. So if they want to go out for pizza or just hang out, in the middle of the town for coffee or whatever it is, they're able to sign out with their counselors, spend some time off campus with their phones. They can't go alone. There are all these procedures that they need to follow. And then they're supposed to return to campus at the due hour. So there is that good balance of time on campus to rest and hang out and time to spend away on campus until you leave. So roughly 2 days a week. And then there's one campus weekend, and the rest they're out on Tuesday. But they will, even on days that they're out on a day deal, that means that they come back to campus in the afternoon. So they're on the go and they're seeing the whole country. There's not a day of nothing to do, because when kids have nothing to do, that's when they get in trouble.
Yeah, and also we'd like to encourage the relationship with the Aussies coming to Israel and the Israeli cousins or families and friends that are also in Israel. So when they can sign out, of course, through the process of being confirmed with the school, that the cousins or relatives can come and visit, or they can go out for dinner and that sort of thing. So we encourage this relationship with their family or their family friends in Israel. They can go and visit. So if they finish class or the tiyul at 6 o'clock at night and they get the okay from the madrahim, then they can spend some time with their family as well.
Yes, you will have to give all the information to the school, but at that later stage, when you get all the forms, one of the forms will be the family details, the phone number, the contact person name, and all this, and an address, of course.
But then the actual arrangement that happens, can that happen last minute?
So anything is possible as long as it's verified and confirmed with the parents back home, and of course in matching whatever the kids are missing out on the program. I do want to mention that all the rules related to what is going on in the program apply even when they're with families. So for example, the zero alcohol tolerance would continue, so we have to also speak to the hosting families and explain their responsibility. So provided that we can do all of that in a very responsible way, absolutely, but sometimes last minute means that we may not. So I do encourage you to make plans as early as possible, but we are more than happy and really willing to help as much as possible to make that happen, because as Paul explained, it's a big part of the program as far as we're concerned.
Yes, they can come and join the group. Yes, of course. No, it's not. It's a different cost, yes.
Yes, we will discuss with you later.
Yes, yes. We had kids from the conservatory last year, and we could. We will accommodate.
We will discuss
Yes.
discuss with you later.
Yes.
The
yes.
program, if you open your booklets, you'll have all the places that your children are going to be at. The program, though it's set, as Adi says, there are changes at the last minute. And therefore, usually at the end of the week, after they finish the week and they knew exactly where they've been, you will get a full update with all the places that the kids have been in. Okay? But there are some security issues, and sometimes we can't just go exactly to the places on that particular week.
But before we leaving, you will receive like a program, what we're planning to do each week, and you'll have it, but everything is subject to changes.
And again, you'll be updated every week, while the kids are there, and every day the kids will get a program printed on their doors what they're doing. And of course, the first question is, what are we doing today? Okay, so you'll probably know more than the kids what they're going to do. So typical. Where are we?
So Emmanuel is going to be dorm literally 7 meters from the dorm that the BJE kids will be in. And Mariah has a different program. It's in Jerusalem. It's a little bit more religious. Everyone will meet together on December 22nd, the Y2Y day. And also, I'm sure we'll run into each other just, in different places that they meet. But Bialik, Emmanuel, and BJE all stay on the same campus. The other programs are in Jerusalem. So Emmanuel arrives 2 weeks before and leaves 2 weeks before the BJE students do. Bialik is similar, but you guys start latest and finish later. So, but there's a lot of interaction, and you'll definitely see all of them.
So thank you very much. We appreciate you sharing this evening with us. And we look forward to seeing you really soon. And I think your kids are very excited just across the hall. Thank you.